Perfect. All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Whitney Forstall Grand Prix. I am an Associate Director of Alumni Engagement at University of New Orleans in the Alumni Department. I want to welcome you to our webinar Wednesdays that we're starting back up. This is the second one that we've hosted in 2021, and we have a lot more exciting topics coming. So I want you to go ahead and stay connected with us on social media, as well as look out for our newsletters that we send out monthly that'll let you know of all of the upcoming webinars that we have. Today, I'm excited to introduce Janitha Lindsay. She is a career coach, positivity mindset mentor, and she's the creator of Her Higher Power. She founded Her Higher Power, a professional development service company dedicated to motivating women in the process of discovering, embracing, and cultivating their unique talents and strengths. So I want to thank Janitha for presenting to us today. We will be posting Janitha's contact information, as well as she has a free workbook available for everybody that registered and attended this webinar. So we're going to post that in the chat, as well as email it to you with our follow-up emails that we do. But I also just want to say, not only is Janitha a friend of mine, but I am also a client. She has helped me tremendously in the past, and I hope that you are able to utilize her strengths in order for her to help you succeed in any business that you want to do personally or in your work career. So again, with that, I'll go ahead and say welcome, Janitha, and we can get started.
Good afternoon. Thank you, everybody, for coming and joining us today. Today, we're going to dive into vision boards. So
I did want to say one other thing also. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
If anybody has any questions, please go ahead and put them in the chat. We will address them during the presentation and also at the end. All right.
And if I'm going too fast, please let them know to stop me because I talk kind of fast. So you guys slow me down if I move too fast for you. I know Whitney just gave me that introduction, so I'll just tell you guys a little bit more about myself. My name is Janitha Lindsay. I have a master's in business administration that I received from Jackson State University. I have leveled that to become a career positivity mindset coach with my business that I created and founded. I also full-time work for historically black college to in the fundraising department. I'm so sorry for my puppy. Okay. Hold on. Okay, guys, I'm sorry about that. So as Whitney explained, Her Higher Power is I'm a career confidence coach, and I specialize in helping women who are new or transitioning in their careers. I started this because I truly enjoy the network of women. I enjoy camaraderie with women, and I enjoy helping them pull out their strengths so that they know that they can do whatever it is that they intend to do. And while we're here today, I have been using vision boards since about 2016. So today I'm going to teach you guys the ways to manifest with your vision boards. These are a couple of examples of my past vision boards that I've used in the past. And if you are wondering if any of these things have come true, they have. I have learned, if you can see, how to be more mindful. I've learned yoga over time using this board. That was a goal of mine. I have gotten engaged and married since that time. That was something else that I was manifesting. I also became more money conscious and financially aware. That's something that it was a big goal of mine. So I wanted to travel more. As you see, I put the passport on there. So going to new states and seeing things. I've gone out of the country since this time when I created these boards. So these are just some examples of boards that I've used in the past. So I know you guys are wondering, what exactly is a vision board? A vision board is simply a visual representation of your goals. It's a creative process where you take the goals that you have and you put them on what I like to call a goal manifesting collage. So what is the secret behind making sure your vision board works? In order to attract what you really, really want in life, you must manifest it. And a key part of manifesting is making sure that you keep things at the top of your mind and in your space. So making sure that you see it and you really become your goals, that's a key to making sure your vision board works. Also, you want to make sure that you follow these 5 steps that we're going to go through. These are 5 steps that I've defined to make sure that my vision boards work for me. Before we move on, Whitney, do we have any questions or anything? Are we good?
No questions yet. You go ahead and we'll let you know.
Okay, so the 5 steps for creating the vision board are defining your goals. You want to map out your board. You want to find inspiration for your board, and you want to bring your board to life. And then you want to power your vision board. I will walk you through each one of these steps. So first, goal setting with your vision board. The entire reason that we have the vision board in the first place is because you want to help it manifest the goals and the dreams that you have for your life. So it's important that you take the initial step to really figure out what it is that you're trying to achieve by making this vision board. You don't want to just have a board with pretty pictures or things on it. You really want it to be meaningful and specific to you. So the best way to help you achieve your goals is to keep them top of mind. Putting them on the vision board in an open space where you can see them often, and it will prompt you to visualize your goals and keep them again at the top of your mind. So you want to start by listing just a few goals that you have for the year so that you have a clear place to start. This is a goal sheet that I have on my website that's free for you guys to download if you need. I have a couple of different versions of this. So these are just some of my personal goals that I have for the year. As you see, I like to break them out into different categories because that helps me stay clear. I like to have a theme for the year. Some people call them resolutions. I call them a focus or a theme, so that I have a clear intent on what I want to accomplish for the year. Next, mapping out your board. Mapping out your board is probably more important than the goals, because when you're looking at your vision board, it's visual. You want to see the things that you are speaking to. You want to see those goals come to life. So you always want to make sure that when you're putting your board together, you've taken the time. I personally use quadrants, or I will do quadrants and then use the middle section. And I kind of just place my pieces down or figure out, like, is this going to be for fitness? Is this going to be for spiritual? And things that overlap, I kind of place them close together so that I can know that, something may be in financial, but it may also be in my health section. So next, you want to find your inspiration. Consider, of those goals, what matters to you most? What is it that you really want to accomplish this year, or for whatever time frame that you're using when you're making that vision board? Once you consider what matters to you most and what you want to stand out to you most, you'll want to find words, sayings, quotes, pictures. You can even use live things like flowers, whatever it is that makes you, that speaks to you, and that will have your board pop for you. Bring your board to life. Guys, a lot of people think that vision boards just have to be on a cardboard paper, the poster size paper. You can make your board any type of way you like. This is an example of a digital vision board that I did for the goals that were on my goal sheet for 2021. As you can see, exercise is something that's important to me. Being mindful, growing my business, being a businesswoman, relaxation, all of those things are very important to me. So sometimes you want to see words, sometimes you want to see the visual representation of this. So whatever it is that will speak to you, be creative and feel free to think outside of the box when you're making your board. Next, you want to power your vision, because again, that's what it's about. We don't want to just have a vision board that's just sitting there. So you want to make sure that you place your board somewhere visual. If you guys notice on my first example, I think that was my first vision board I ever made. I framed it in a picture frame, and I think I got the board from like the dollar store, and I just got a really inexpensive frame, and I just put it up in my bedroom. You don't always have to put it in your bedroom. If you're using the digital ones, you can use them as screensavers. You can use them as locks for your phone. You can do a regular notebook size piece of paper and put it up in your office so that it's somewhere that you can really see these things and your goals stay at the top of your mind. You want to look at it as often as possible, and you really want to make sure you go out. If you, like I said, if you want to make the smaller version, you really don't have to be confined to the traditional style of vision boards. You want to make sure that you are doing whatever works for you. Okay. Don't be afraid to make updates to your vision board. A lot of times we get really stagnant in our vision boards and we think that they're a stagnant piece of thing, but we're living every day. We're updating our goals. We're changing our goals. You may start out the year thinking you want to run 5 marathons, and then, it's like, well, maybe I just will do 2 or 3. And that's okay. So it's okay to update your board. It's okay to go back and add things, take things away. Just make sure that you're empowering yourself to feel confident with what you're seeing. Whitney, do we have any questions?
Not yet. I did go ahead and post the downloadable workbook that you're providing, the free workbook for everyone. So that is posted in the chat. I think right now we're all kind of captivated by what you're saying. I mean, the obvious thing, my first board that I made, I did not put it somewhere visual. So something that is so obvious. I mean, I kind of tucked it away and I knew in my mind what it was, but I never looked at it. So that's a really great tip. That's obvious, but we all don't think about it. And so I know I'm going to pull it out and display it so that I can see it, and it'll help me make my new one for 2021.
Right, because
so,
of making your vision board, and it's almost like writing your goals and then putting them in the back of your book and never going back and looking at your goals to even see if you're on track, if you met them. You don't want that to be the case. You want it to be something that's really speaking to you and holding you accountable.
Now, we did have a comment that she's really in that we have it from Catherine Harrell. She's really enjoying it and she doesn't have any questions yet. So we'll let you get back to it because we're
kind of fast because I'm at the end. So that's why I said, if you guys have any questions, but I did want to let you guys know that we will be hosting a vision board party on February 22nd at 6:15 p.m. The start time will be 6, but we'll give people a grace period of 15 minutes if you want to put any of these tips to use and actually create a vision board for yourself. You can feel free to join us. You can sign up at herhigherpower.com and you will be able to download that workbook for free. It will give you more details of the things that we talked about today and walk you through in a little more depth about how you can make your vision board really work for you.
So we have a question. Could you go through your main categories and examples of what you use for each?
Yeah, I'm gonna go back a couple of slides so you can see my goal sheet. Sorry, guys. So these are my categories I use because these are the areas that I have found. I've been making my goals this way for about 10 years. I try not to do New Year's resolutions because they're very heavy for me. And I think sometimes it's easy for you to lose your way by just saying, oh, I want to go to the gym, or I want to lose 50 pounds, or whatever it is that you want to do. This way I can break out specifically what it is that I want to focus on, and I can be more intentional about what I put into those goals. So for me, my career is always at the top of the list. Education, my mom is an educator, so education remains at the top of my list, staying current in my field and always being up to date with information. Financial is always a goal because I think we can always do better with our finances. I just have some personal things that don't necessarily, fit in either one of those categories that I want to do for myself. Spirituality is very important to me, so that's something else that I like to make sure that I'm staying in alignment. And then I have miscellaneous goals. I just moved into my new home, so decorating my house, making sure that I'm being mindful, just areas that may not necessarily fit. So those are the ways that I separate my goals out, and that's how I actually do my vision board. So if I can go back to my first.
And I actually like those because it kind of helps us create a more balanced life period in general, instead of just saying we want to focus on work and money. So
Right.
I like that you have the spiritual on there. I like that you have like the continued education stuff, because that stuff, we need all of that stuff to be able to feed us, to be able to achieve those really, bigger goals and aspirations that we have. So I do like that it's kind of well-rounded and just makes us as a whole more fulfilled.
Right, right. And if you see like, so when I write those goals down, then I try to find the corresponding things that will help me feel, will remind me of those goals that I set. So put in the passport there, saying travel the world, find your passion, who you are, inspired. Those are all things that were speaking to what I wanted to put out into the world and what I wanted to get back. My goals, I wanted to invest in my business more, invest in other people more. So those were the things that I put down in based off of the goals that I set with those different areas. And your areas don't have to be so narrow. You can make them more broad or specific to whatever your needs are.
Yeah, I know with mine, it helps me create an outline. So the pictures help me visualize an outline that I can then put on paper.
Yeah.
And use it as a checklist, as, this month I want to achieve this. And it helps me to set like monthly goals, weekly goals. And then I have that visual to go back to.
Yeah, yeah. When I was in New Orleans, when I was there, I had a small one that I kept. I don't even know if you remember our desk, we had like magnets we could put on there.
Mm-hmm.
I would update it. I think Christian was like the only person that noticed that. I would update it every now and again. And I would just keep it right in front of my desk, because it's like, okay, for the things that I can, keep at the very front of my mind that I know that I want to work on immediately, I just put them on a regular piece of paper and put them right in front of me.
So I think it's probably important to note that it's a working plan when we create these vision boards.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it's not something that's just a stagnant, nice little collage and picture. It's to fuel that working plan so that we can continue to compound on it, and then also define, travel, but then start to make us think more, about where do I want to travel? How often do I want to travel?
Exactly.
And what do I want to get from that? Do I want to go on a food adventure? Do I want to go explore places that are, off the beaten path? So it does, it makes you think, and I like that.
Yeah, because
I'm kind of excited. I'm ready to download my plan and get started. I'm kind of excited now. It's making me think.
Yeah, I have California on there, biggest day, and I have not been to California yet. I think this was like 2015 when I did that, but I put California on there and New York. Yep, I remember I put New York down there because I wanted to start going to, I travel a lot, but I was traveling to the same places over and over again. I wasn't going anywhere new. So one of my goals, my travel goals, is to go to as many states that I can go to in the time, that I'm here. So I put California and New York because of course everybody wants to go there. So that's just my motivating factor to say, make sure that you're going places, not just to the same places over and over again. And I have since that time. I've gone to a lot of places that I hadn't been before.
Can you give us some tips on how to find images, and how do you run across them in different searches, things like that?
A lot of people like to just use magazines. Well, and I think magazines are good, especially for words and, some pictures. But really, I kind of just go to the internet. That's where I find my best pictures, because looking in the magazines, you're going to hope that you run across what you're really looking for versus me Googling businesswoman. Like, I don't know if you can see the collage to the right under Speak Your Truth by the diamond ring. And it's a lady right there. I found her on the internet because I know there is a certain image for how, like my style. So how I want to dress and present myself to the world. And that was one of the things I had to Google that. I was like, Black businesswoman. So that's what I wanted to see for myself specifically on the board. So I say use magazines, well, mostly I say go to the internet and try to print as much as you can that's specific to what you want. I also go to Hobby Lobby or Walmart. They have stickers that are really, really inexpensive. Maybe about $1. Walmart has stickers for like 97 cents. So a lot of times I'll put stickers on there that I find from Walmart or Hobby Lobby. I'm trying to see what else I have on here.
Those are good tips because I think, you know, people don't realize like you're kind of limited to whatever is in that magazine. So
Yeah.
I never thought about that, to actually Google and get specifically what you want, because I usually just search through magazines.
and then so you're searching, so you made these goals and you wrote these things down that you want to see. Like I said, Black businesswoman, right? So if I pick up a magazine, like I may run across that, but then again, I may not. Well, I don't want to get frustrated and just quit on my vision board just because I didn't see everything in the magazine that I wanted to see. And that's another reason why I say mapping out your board is important, because you don't want to just dump the stuff on the board. You want to kind of find your inspiration and map those things out before you just glue them down, so that it can really, really be significant to what you're trying to say and do.
Okay. And does anybody have any questions at this point of anything that you can think of before we get started on our vision boards after this class? Because I want to kind of, let's see, I'm looking at the workbook because, of course, I told you I downloaded the workbook because I'm ready to jump in.
And some more tips that I guess I can give for the digital vision boards. If you guys have Canva is where I make the digital boards. And if you just look up mood boards or vision boards, you have some boards that will come up, and you can use some of their free images and things if you want to do the digital route. You don't have to just do the hard copies for your vision board.
So Canva is a free resource that we use to create images for social media, but it's called, I'm going to put it in the chat. Somebody asked how to spell it. And it's free to use. And you can create, like Janitha has these digital ones that she's got examples of. I didn't know that they had an actual template for vision board. So that's really nice. Because then that way you can print it out any size.
Yeah, they don't really have vision boards. If you look up mood board, you'll get more options than if you use vision board.
Okay. Or just probably a collage too.
Collage, yeah.
And it lets you add whatever text and things like that.
If you add whatever text, you can remove and add whatever photos that you like, which may also be more helpful than the magazines, because you're able to, like I said, find those digital images that are really specific to you.
So Miss Harrell did say, she said she's never done this before and she's very excited to try it, and she wants to get her daughters to do it with her. Yeah. Can you tell me, like, your party, is it where people will be showing their things? Because I think that this is something, like I said, she's excited to do this with her daughters. So sounds like a vision board party is going to happen at the Harrell house.
Yes. It will be live. Everyone will be on the screen. So if you would like to share, if you need tips, it's going to be a big party for everyone to take this webinar and compound upon and actually know how to use your vision board. Well,
nice. So you said it's February 22nd for the vision board? Okay, party. Okay. Well, I'm going to definitely make a note of that and start working on mine so that I can be on screen share and get some feedback.
Get your markers, get whatever it is you want. And there's no right or wrong way. If you want it to be fancy, if you want it to be plain, if you want whatever it is you like, just stock up now. You got about 2 or 3 weeks to get ready.
I did see Dollar Tree has some gold markers and silver markers right now, the paint pens for $1.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So, yeah, I did buy some. I think that's their new stuff coming out for spring. I think they know that people are stuck at home during a pandemic, doing a lot of different types of organization and things like that. So I wrote it to write labels, but it's definitely, I'll be using it on my vision board.
Yeah, and actually Dollar Tree is where I get my boards for my vision board. They actually have a lot of great colors, like the gold color that I have for both of my boards. I got those from Dollar Tree. They have black, they have pink, have iridescent colors. The first vision board party I did, I tried to get people colors specific to them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to just also get a whiteboard. I mean, you can if that's what your style is, but for me, I like metallic things. I like things that are shiny and that kind of are loud. So I chose the gold board. So try to also make sure you get a board that speaks to you, because again, you want to put it somewhere where you're seeing this.
Okay.
Work.
So let's see, we have another one. So taking this and achieving a goal, how do you map it out? I know seeing it every day keeps it at the top of the mind, but any advice on how to reach these specific goals? For example, if one goal is to change careers or get a new job.
Right. So the vision board doesn't replace the work that we have to do to go with the vision board. It's only there to remind us. So we'll just use transitioning in your career, right? So let's say you do want to transition. What will that look like for you? Do you need to update your resume? Do you need to do some mock interviews? Do you need to brush up on some skills so that you're ready to transition in your career when you're ready to? The vision board is only there to help you know that there's a goal, and then you have to really figure out those steps to help you move forward with how to, make those goals come to life. Did I answer your question?
Let's see, did she answer that question, or do you have a follow-up from that one? Waiting for the chat. Do you use a calendar?
Yes, I calendar. I'm probably crazy with my calendar. I calendar a lot. And I also color code my calendar because I like to be able to, when I see my calendar, I'm very visual, if you guys can tell. So when when I look at something, I like to know specifically, what I'm looking at, even my work calendar. Like if I have 5 different meetings, they're going to be color coded. So I know I have a meeting with my boss, I have a meeting with the president, I have a meeting with the development team. Those are things that I like to keep, myself aligned.
Okay, and so the follow-up question, one of them was, how do you break it down to map it out? How do you break it down? But I don't know if the color coding was the one that helped answer that or not.
So how do I break it down? So I'll use myself for an example. So let me see, what's the thing that I can use on here? I'll use money as an example, because being financially conscious and being more money conscious was a big thing for me. So what I had to do was decide, I may put it off, but I need to say by March, I need to have a financial plan for myself for how I want to move for the rest of the year. So when I set that goal for myself to say March, I want to have the plan together, I sit down, I say, where am I now? And where do I want to be? And I try to write those steps out to get in between. How is my debt looking? Do I need to spend less? Can I put myself on a budget? The budget do I have? Is it working? Do I need to tweak what I'm saying that I'm doing? Review your finances so you can actually see what you're spending your money on. Again, if we could talk about transitioning in your career, do you have the credentials that you need? Like if you want to be a counselor, do you have all the certifications that you need? If you don't have those, so if you say, I want to be in a new career by July 1st, okay, that's an attainable goal that we can put on the vision board, new career. What do you need to do between today, February 10th, and July 1st to make sure that those goals align? Use your calendar to just kind of set yourself some reminders, like maybe in March, you want to make sure you review, the requirements of that field. You may want to do some industry research. In April, you may want to take a look at your resume and hire somebody to do you some resume reviews or write your cover letter, for a transitioning career. So setting those things up and figuring out the steps and the tools that work for you for how you can follow through is probably the best way.
Okay, nice. I have a question. Okay, so I know our different categories or our different guides, and then we pick one and then we compound on it and develop a plan. How often do you think okay, so this week maybe I work on the exercise and figure out how to outline how to achieve my goal, and then maybe like every once, like once a week, work on each one of those categories and figure out what my end goal is, and then develop a plan in between? Or is once a week too much? You should maybe once a month, not a year.
Yeah, once a week is probably too much because you don't want to overwhelm yourself. And the thing with the goals are, you don't want to do anything outlandish, like I want to be the Queen of England next month. Like, that's probably not going to happen. So when you're making your goals, make sure that you make them realistic. And I try to be as specific as I can in my goals. So with exercise, I don't just say I want to exercise. I literally say I want to exercise at least 3 times a week. So if I do 5, then that's great. But I know at minimum I have to do 3.
Okay.
So I think every week is too much. I check in with my goals personally quarterly. I don't even do every month, but that's just because that's the space that I'm in now. Monthly will probably be the best recommendation. So you can just make sure that you're on track and you're in alignment with what you're trying to do. And then again, don't forget, we're gonna update these things. So if I say, okay, like I just moved back home to Mississippi. So let's say I want to work out 3 times a week. That's my exercise goal. But I also just started a new career, a new job, and I also have my business. So if I say I want to work out 3 times a week, but now my job is very demanding and my business is taking a lot of my time, it's okay for me to come back and be like, well, you know what? I haven't been able to make it to the gym 3 times a week. Maybe I just need to focus on making sure that I get there twice a week. That's okay. So evaluating your goals and making sure that you're in alignment isn't always a negative thing. Sometimes we feel bad and we're hard on ourselves, like, oh, I missed my goal. That's okay. It's only there as a marker and a reminder for what we're trying to do as we continue to grow.
I like that. And I like that advice. Now we have another question that says, do you use any kind of reward system for yourself?
Yeah. But that is also my language. I like to reward myself, even if it's something small. So with my financial goals that I'm trying to create, I'm trying to save more. So what I'll do is I take a certain amount of money out for the week and I say, this is the money that I have. But what I also have started doing was cooking. So I create a menu and I bring my lunch every day. So if I do that for the month, or if I do that for 4 days, if I do, if I say, you know what, Monday through Thursday, I didn't spend this $20 in my purse. I ate what I cooked at home every day. Then on Friday, I'm going to get me something that I want to eat. Absolutely reward yourself, because you don't want to feel like you're doing these things in vain. You're doing them so that you can grow and feel better.
I like that. How about we save up for like a manicure or pedicure or something like that? I calculated how much I spend eating just lunch every day. And
it's crazy.
Like $400 a month on lunch, just lunch.
Just lunch, right? So I mean, and that's also okay because we're busy, right? You're a mom, you're moving, your career's demanding. So that's how it is sometimes. But if you get in the space where you're like, you know what, I don't want to spend that $400 anymore. What can I do? And maybe it's not even every day. Maybe it's just 3 days out the week that you want to eat out. In 2 days, you'll cook. Whatever your capacity is, don't look at what other people are doing. You really have to be specific and true to yourself so that they really, really work.
Those are great tips, really great tips. Okay, everyone. Again, I want to remind everybody to download the workbook that Janitha created for everyone here. We will be emailing it also in our follow-up email, but go ahead and download it. I posted it at the top of the chat box. If you have any questions about anything else, I wanted to remind you that Janitha not only just works with vision boards, but she is a career coach. She's helped me with my resume, my cover letter, interview skills. She's very talented at all of that. So if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to her. And again, hopefully she'll be back to do another presentation for us. If you have any ideas of anything that you would like to see us cover in the future, please feel free to send us an email and let us know. I'm sorry, I forgot to turn my camera back on. Please feel free to email us and let us know what kind of topics you'd like either Janitha or anybody else to cover for us. And if you actually are a expert in your field and would like to do a presentation on one of our webinar Wednesdays, please reach out to us at alumni at uno.edu, or Francie or myself, Whitney, at UNO, and we would love to hear about what you can do. And then also, let's see, like I said, we'll take some final questions, but while we're waiting to see if anybody has any final questions in the chat, I just want to thank Janitha. This was very, very enlightening. And again, like I said, some of the things that are like obvious that you don't think about, like I said, my vision board that I created, my very first one, is rolled up in a corner somewhere. It is not on display. I mean, I know what's on it, but I don't look at it every day. And I think that is probably like one of the best tips, is just to make sure that you see it. So again, like I said, the obvious is not sometimes not so obvious. So I want to thank you. I did like get a lot out of this session. Can't wait to start working on that workbook.
No problem. And I forgot to put my social media handles, but I'm on Instagram and Twitter and Pinterest.
All right. And if we have any questions, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. And again, like I said, let us know what other kind of content you'd like to see. And until the next one, bye, everybody.